Miller's Tire and Auto Care. Need to hire experienced technicians, oil change, tire technician, tow truck drivers, exceptional benefits and pay. Drop your resume off at Miller's Tire on the Big Hill Avenue location. 4 high schools, 7 middle schools, 1 college, and a university, and much more. Now introducing your most comprehensive weekly local sports show in Madison County, the Richmond Register Sports Show. The Richmond Register Sports Show is brought to you by MetroNet, superfast internet, simply a better connection. Total Comfort, heating and air conditioning. Let Total Comfort keep you cool or warm this winter. Call for service or for a free replacement quote. Wynn's Auto Detailing Service. Platinum Roofing, Solar and Green Solutions. Voted Richmond's best roofer 7 years in a row. And by kymedia.net, digital media solutions on your terms. Here's your host for all things local sports, the Richmond Register sports editor, Nathan Hutchison.
Welcome to this week's edition of the Richmond Register Sports Show. My name is Nathan Hutchinson. I'm the sports editor of the Richmond Register and appreciate you tuning in this week. Coming up in just a few minutes, we will be joined by the Model Lab Archery coach, Michelle Smith, and her daughter, Rebecca. And they'll be here to talk about what has been a great season so far for the Model Lab Archery program. The season is not over yet. They still have some national events left as well. But stay tuned for that. They're going to give us the lowdown on what has been a great year for the Patriots. But I'd like to start off the show the same way we start off every show with a recap of the week that was in Madison County sports. And this week we'll start with high school softball. And we'll begin with the Madison Central Lady Indians. Opened the week with a tough loss on the road, 8-5 to Great Crossing, but then bounced back to pick up 4 wins the rest of the weeks. 13-3 over Tate's Creek on Tuesday at home, 12-1 Wednesday at Bourbon County, then picked up a couple of wins on Saturday down in Somerset, a 10-1 victory over Lincoln County, and a 7-1 win over Simon Kenton. 4 straight wins to close out the week moves the Lady Indians to 15-4 on the season. And the Lady Indians continue to hit the ball out of the ballpark. 15 home runs, 8 different players. Against Lincoln County on Saturday, Jasmine Kaler hit her 3rd home run of the season. And in the second game down there against Simon Kenton, it was Brooklyn Gilbo hitting her 1st home run of the season. So 15-4, and Central's back in action on Monday against Madison Southern at home. And of course, these two teams played each other just a couple of weeks ago in a game that Central picked up an 18-3 win in 4 innings down in Berea. So Madison Southern will get a chance to get a little revenge on Monday night here in Richmond. Speaking of Madison Southern, they are 10-14 on the season after a pretty busy week. Tuesday, a 14-2 win at home over Dunbar. Wednesday, a 16-0 win at home over Berea. Then a 10-4 win on Thursday at home over Boyle County. And then on Saturday, they were down at a triangle event down in North Laurel. Suffered an 11-10 loss to North Laurel, and then a 17-10 loss to West Jessamine. In the win over Berea Community, it was Chloe Risen with her 1st home run of the year. And the loss to North Laurel, Crystal Cook hit her 3rd home run of the year and had 4 RBIs. And in the loss to West Jessamine on Saturday was Alexis Keener with her 3rd home run of the year. She also had a double and 3 RBIs. And Lady Eagles back in action Monday here in Richmond against Madison Central. Model Lab School had just 1 game this past week. Rain shortened 7-2 loss on Friday at Casey County. Only got through 4 innings of that before it was called. But 2-9 on the season for the Patriots, and they're back in action Monday at home against Robertson County. Berea Community softball team, 3 games this past week, and the Lady Pirates picked up their 1st victory. That was on Monday, a 17-2 win at home over Bergen. Then on Wednesday, that 16-0 loss to Madison Southern, and then on Thursday, a 10-0 loss at home to Jackson County. But in the win over Bergen, it was Taylor Johnson 2 for 5 with 5 RBIs. Candace Bertato 2 for 3 with a double, 2 runs scored and an RBI. And Sadie Hall was 1 for 1 with 3 walks, 2 RBIs, and scored 3 runs. And after their 1st victory of the season, we had a chance to talk to Coach Cinda Holland and Taylor Johnson. We're here at Berea Community Park where the Lady Pirates have picked up their 1st win of the season, 17-2 over Bergen. Coach Cinda Holland and Taylor Johnson, congratulations, first of all.
Thank you. Thank you.
I know you've been close a couple of times. It's been some hard-fought losses, and these kids just keep battling, and good to see them get rewarded today.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm so proud of them battling so much, and they've grown so much throughout the season. It's been great being their coach, and I'm loving it, and glad they get to see the results on the scoreboard today.
Yeah, Taylor, get that first win. How's that feel?
It feels good. We've been fighting like no one's business. It just finally feels good to get it around. Sometimes we just come up a little short because our bats don't get hot till like the fourth inning. So we come up short, but it feels good to finally get it come around.
Yeah, I mean, Coach, you guys faced a couple pitchers that were having trouble throwing strikes, and your kids showed incredible patience, took a lot of walks, got hit quite a few times as well, but just really patient at the plate.
Yeah, we've been working really hard at that because they're really anxious, and we've been through some batting practices where they're like, I want to show what I can do. But I was really proud of them for laying off. They don't have very many burpees to do for swinging at high pitches.
That doesn't sound like fun. How many of those have you had to do so far this year?
Well, me, probably a couple, but we do have one player that loves them, so she's got quite a few.
She's probably right behind me. But I mean, when you're facing pitchers that are struggling to throw strikes, it's hard to.
It's hard
to be really
adjust,
patient.
Yeah, but I mean, you just have to wait on it. I mean, even if it is a high pitch, you wait on it, you can still hit it. Any pitch that really isn't in the dirt or above your head is a hittable ball, in my opinion, as long as you just wait on it.
All right, and you guys Wednesday night over at Madison Southern. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it should be a really close game, really good game. We're pretty excited about it.
All right, congratulations on that first win.
Thank you.
All right, well, so very happy for those young ladies and their first-year coach to pick up that first victory of the season. 1-10 on the year for the Lady Pirates. They're back in action Monday at Danville. Turning our attention to high school baseball. Interesting week for Madison Central's Indians. On Monday night, a 4-2 loss on the road to number 1 ranked St. Xavier up in Louisville. They bounced back on Tuesday with a 7-0 win at home over Lafayette, and then on Wednesday a 9-8 come-from-behind win at home over Douglas. On Friday night, the Indians were taking on Mail here in Richmond, had a 6-1 lead in the 4th inning when the rain came in and washed the rest of that game away. So Keith Stewart hit a 3-run home run in that game, but unfortunately that won't count as none of the stats carry over. And then on Saturday, the Indians were supposed to play 2 games out in Western Kentucky, but those also got rained out as well. So just the 3 games this past week for the Indians as they move to 17-3 on the season. In the win over Lafayette, Grant Beck, the freshman left-hander, moved to 5-0 on the season. He went 6 innings, 4 hits, 3 walks, lowered his ERA to 0.75 on the season. Parker Mullins had 2 doubles and 3 RBIs. And in the win over Frederick Douglass, this was probably the highlight reel moment of the season, but Indians scored 5 times in the bottom of the 7th inning, highlighted by this.
Go! 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 Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! So he's second down, he hit a couple home runs, but second down, he walked it off. Let's go!
That was a walk-off 2-run home run by Drew Hess in the bottom of the 7th inning to give the Indians a 9-8 victory over Frederick Douglass. And that proud papa you see in the picture there taking the video was Ryan Hess, Drew's dad. So we appreciate him sending us that video. We weren't there that night. There's some nights we can't be everywhere, but what a great way to come back and cap off a great victory for the Indians. Also in that victory, Cannon Spivey 2 for 3, scored a couple of runs. Parker Mullins 2 for 3, 3 runs scored, triple and an RBI. And Isaac Haskins picked up his first varsity victory in relief. Like I said, Central 17-3. They're back in action Monday against Estill County over at Berea College on Blake Crow night. Busy week for Madison Southern baseball as well. They got in 4 games and picked up 3 victories. On Monday, a 13-8 win at Franklin County. On Tuesday night, a 4-0 win at home over GRC. On Wednesday, a 4-2 loss at Boyle County. And then on Saturday, an 8-7 walk-off victory over Western Hills. In that Western Hills game, Southern scored once in the 6th to tie the game and then won the game on a walk-off hit by pitch with the bases loaded in the bottom of the 7th inning. But flashing back to the GRC game, Caleb Cobb was the starter there. went 6 innings to pick up the win. Zach Morgerson also had a pair of RBIs in that one. So 9-9 on the season for Madison Southern, and they're back in action today at home. They're going to take on Boyle County again, the team that they just lost to on Wednesday over there. So they'll get a chance to play them again and maybe turn that result around. Berea Community Baseball Team, 3 games this past week. They picked up a pair of wins. Monday, a 3-1 victory at home over Bath County. On Tuesday, a 10-7 loss at home to Western Hills. And then on Wednesday, a 12-7 win at Owsley County. Win over Bath County, that was the heck of a game. Billy Strife, the complete game win. He had 7 strikeouts. Nathan Profit, 2 for 2 with a run scored. Cam Thompson, 2 for 3 with a run scored. And Cody Roberts had the game-saving catch in the bottom of the 7th inning. And if you saw this earlier in the week, this was our little video after the game. We figured we'd play it again. This was a pretty cool moment. So this is after Berea's victory over Bath County last Monday night. Coach Steve Bailey, Cody Roberts, and Billy Strife talking about the win. Community Park, where the Pirates have picked up a 3-1 win over Bath County. Coach Steve Bailey, Billy Strife, and Cody Roberts. Coach, I mean, you lost to those guys a couple weeks ago up in Owensville. You got a chance to get a little revenge here today, and the kids come up with a big W.
Yeah, it's a big win for us. Like I said, we wanted to see how much we improved. We played them early in the season. They got us up there 9-4. So this is a good win for us. We'll definitely take it.
Billy, it looked like you came out feeling pretty good out there. You had a lot of pop on your fastball. How'd you feeling out there?
Oh, I felt amazing. I warmed up. I was stretched for like 45 minutes. I wanted this game so bad. I was throwing gas. Everything was working, the curveball, everything. It felt so good.
Yeah. Had a 3-0 lead there for a while, and things got a little hairy there at the end. And then...
I know. I wanted to keep the score 0, but things happened.
Yeah, well, it got a little hairy there at the end, but this guy came up with a heck of a play.
Yeah.
I mean, you're deep center field. You're looking right into the sun. How do you even see that ball?
Honestly, I've been playing baseball for the longest time. I've been outfield ever since I've been playing, so fielding the ball and placing where it's going to go, I've gotten pretty decent at that. With the game as close as it was, I didn't care about my body at that point. I was just wanting to catch that ball.
And did we have a little damage or did you lose your glasses? You broke your glasses?
Right lens broke out.
How about you?
I caught it and then jumped into the fence. I think I busted my lip and then the glasses broke out.
And we got him on video saying he'll buy you a new one. So What a catch, though, man. I mean, you said it in the dugout there. He's the best game you've seen him play in a long time.
By far the best game I've seen Cody Roberts play since I've coached him. And I'm proud of him. He is known as one of the tough kids when he played football, the toughest on the field. He proved it right there by just taking the ball, into the glove, into the fence. That's a heck of a catch. It's the best catch probably I've seen all year anywhere we've been.
All right. Well, you guys won 4 out of the last 6. Congratulations. Keep it going.
Thank you.
And the postscript to that, as we said on our nightly show, is that Cody Roberts, his mom fixed his glasses, so don't worry about that. So he crashed into the fence, thought he'd broken his glasses, but Mom fixed them. So 5-8 on the season now for Berea Community. They're going to be back in action Monday at home against Garrett County. Model Lab School, interesting week for them as well with the weather. On Wednesday, a 13-12 loss at home to Atherton. Then on Saturday, they had 2 games up in Louisville, a 6-3 loss to Kentucky Country Day, followed by a 9-2 win over Wakefield Academy. Berea and Model played on Friday evening and got within just a couple of outs of it actually being an official game. It was 10-9, Berea leading in the bottom of the 5th inning, but it has to go a complete 5 innings for it to count. The storms rolled in, and so all that gets washed away. So in Model's win over Whitefield Academy, Beckett Parker Noblet 2 for 3 with 2 runs scored. Connor Sayer was 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs and a run scored. Model's back in action Monday at Western Hills. High school tennis, lots of action all across the county. It was a good week for Madison Central. On Tuesday, they swept Frederick Douglass up in Lexington, the girls with a 5-0 win, the boys with a 3-2 win. On Wednesday, went down to Berea College and swept Berea Community 5-0. Then on Thursday, Central was at home against Franklin County. The girls pick up a 5-0 win, while the boys suffer a 3-2 loss. You can get all those results from all those individual matches at richmondregister.com. And Indians are going to be back in action Tuesday at Great Crossing. Good week as well for the Madison Southern tennis team, especially the girls. The Lady Eagles pushed their winning streak to 5 matches with victories over Douglas on Thursday and Lafayette on Monday. And they'll be back in action Monday at home against Henry Clay. And, of course, you can get all the results of those at richmondregister.com as well. And the model tennis team had a pretty busy week. Tuesday, the Patriots and Lady Patriots swept Bryan Station at home. Then on Thursday, both teams were up in Lexington to take on Paul Lawrence Dunbar. Girls picked up a 5-0 win while the boys suffered a loss. And then on Saturday, a couple of home matches. The girls defeated Boyle County and the boys lost to Bourbon County. And the Patriots and Lady Patriots are back in action Monday at Tate's Creek. So another busy week all across the county out there. Lots of stuff to do and lots of stuff to cover. But that's why we're here for you, folks. So hang with us. In just a minute, we'll be right back with Michelle Smith and Rebecca Smith.
Miller's Tire and Auto Care need to hire experienced technicians, oil change, tire technician, tow truck drivers, exceptional benefits and pay. Drop your resume off at Miller's Tire on the Big Hill Avenue location. The Richmond Register Sports Show is brought to you by MetroNet, super fast internet, simply a better connection. Total Comfort, heating and air conditioning. Let Total Comfort keep you cool or warm this winter. Call for service or for a free replacement quote. Wynn's Auto Detailing Service. Platinum Roofing, Solar and Green Solutions. Voted Richmond's best roofer 7 years in a row. And by kymedia.net, digital media solutions on your terms.
All right, welcome back. We are joined by Model Lab Archery coach Michelle Smith and her daughter Rebecca. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you for inviting us.
It's been a great season for you guys, and the season's not over yet. You do still have some national competitions left, but just going down the list, you guys all-A state champions, 11th region girls, KHSA 11th region champions, finished second in NASP state, 10th in the KHSAA state. So it's been a good year for you guys, and it's not over yet with some national stuff left.
Exactly. It's been a great year. It's been just a real special year. So.
Yeah, a lot of great moments. I guess we could talk about all these things, but I want you guys, I would talk about this on the show all the time, but for folks that maybe go to Central or Southern or don't understand what it's like to be at a Class A school, what did that winning the first ever All-A state championship mean? Because they'd never had that before, right? This is the first year they ever had it. So talk about what that meant to the program, to the team, to the school, and everybody.
Yeah, I mean, I think the big importance of it is that just because we're a small school, in the past with team competitions, we've been more at a disadvantage just because everybody coming in normally is doing all these other sports and they have all these other commitments. And so committing to a state level team is very difficult. And so it was really important for all of us, and everybody was really, really excited when we won just because it's a really big accomplishment to be able to win the first one and also just prove to ourselves that we are really as good as we have been in the past. So
yeah. They've had all-A championships in everything, it seems like, even down to like non-academic, academic stuff and chess and cheerleading, and this was the first time they finally ever had archery.
Exactly. Like, this is our 8th year of having a team, and every year after we would go to NASP, I would always look at the schools and the size, and I was like, now listen, you guys did so good. I was like, if they would have had an all-A championship, you all be right there. And so whenever Scotty told us, he was like, there's an all-A, and I'm like, oh my goodness, now's our time. And so it was just really exciting because I felt like we could have won those many years, or at least been competing at that. And just to win the first, I think it just validated the archers that they are really that good. And that gave us a lot of momentum this year. I think having that championship, then we were able to go to the NAS and now shoot with everybody. And to come in second there, that was pretty amazing.
You go to Scotty and say, see, I was right.
Exactly. That's exactly right. Whenever he told me about it and he was like, so you think we can compete? I was like, oh, we can win this thing, So I was a little bit too confident, but I was confident in the archers. They're just so talented.
Yeah, and I'm amazed at, like you said, eight seasons, but I mean, I was talking to Scotty the other day. You guys have 80-some kids, elementary through high school, and the total enrollment at Model is 725. So you're looking at about 11% of the student body is involved in your archery program in some, not full time, but just in some sense.
And exactly in the high school, and that's what's really tough because we're going against these schools that've got 2,000 students, and here we've got maybe 240 at the most, and we've got 27 on our high school teams. We've got over 10% of the high school team doing archery, which is pretty amazing. And so that's what we always tell them. I was like, And now this year we're competing with all those big schools. So we're not just, I think that's what's exciting. Yeah, we had that championship at the All-A Classic, but yeah, we're competing with the schools, with all the schools. I mean, we had 7 first placed victories this year in tournaments. So that's pretty exciting, you know.
Yeah. And you're a junior now, right? But
Yes.
But you've obviously been through the whole growth of this from the beginning with your mom, and it's become a kind of a family tradition over there. But just
Yeah.
talk about what you've seen out of the growth of the program.
Well, previously, as I came from Whitehall, our school was very big, and it was a very big deal, and so we had many national and world titles, and so coming into Model, it was more of, this is an individual sport for you, because it's so small and the program is new, and so you couldn't really rely on your team to get you to the next level, and so you really had to rely on yourself. But over the years, we have been able to start competing as a team, and not really relying on specific individuals to carry the weight of the team, or really rely on those individuals for very high scores, because now our team is so built up to where you don't really know who's going to be the one shooting the highest score, because we're all just shooting really, really well together. So.
Yeah. And going back to the beginning, it was, I want to get into too much details here, but it was kind of a struggle to get this thing going.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, Troy Ligers started it out, and then with his daughter, Montana, just kind of motivated to get the team going. Then they decided to homeschool, and then it was after 1 year, it was like, no coach. We're like, hey. So somebody had to step up, and I think I drew the short end of the stick there. And anyway, but it's been a blessing, you know. But yeah, it was a challenge. We didn't have practice places. We had to pay to practice. We had to, you know, it was tough. It was tough going. And so now we have a practice facility. It's just so nice. And we've built just a very solid team, and they're respected within the school, and it's exciting.
Yeah, I mean,
You know.
Scott, you have the full support of Scotty Sutton and the
Absolutely.
administration and everybody.
They're very supportive, and we're really looking forward to when this new school gets built. Then we're really going to have even much better facilities for the archer team. The superintendent, Mr. Williamson, is super supportive of that and wanting to make sure we have the best facilities. He was asking, he was like, what do you want for an archery facilities? And so that's exciting.
Yeah.
And yeah, Scotty's been just super supportive. He's probably the only athletic director that shows up at these KHSA.
He drove all the way out to the All-A State tournament. It was way out in Western Kentucky somewhere,
Absolutely.
wasn't it?
He was out there, and he was in Bowling Green for the KHSA State. He's there, you know. And that means a lot. It means a lot to the archers, knowing they have that full support.
Yeah, you should have 2 gyms too, right? So you won't have to compete for gym space.
Exactly.
That's how if all things go as planned. You never
Absolutely.
can tell. Well, archery at the high school level is a bit confusing to some people, even to me still, because there are 2 governing bodies here.
Right.
You have the KHSAA, you have the National Archery in the Schools Program, NASP. They both run a region, they both run a state, they both kind of have different rules, so it can be a bit confusing.
And then when you threw in the All-A,
Yeah.
and that was 3, and they had another set of rules. So
Oh,
this
wow.
year was rather confusing, trying to keep the parents and everybody involved. So yeah, so you have with the NAS, which has been around for a long time, and that's really what motivates at all the schools, goes elementary, middle, and high school. You can have up to 24 archers on the team. You count the top 12 scores, but you have to have 4 of each gender. And so that's a co-ed team that you compete. Now they also have within the NAS, they have the 3D division as well. So that adds another complexity. There you only have to count 6 scores, you have to count 2 of each gender. So you have that. Then you have the KHSA, which now in the past few years they divided up into a girls team and, well, now it's boys co-ed team.
Yeah.
And so there you shoot 12 archers and you count the top 7 scores. Then the All-A threw us really a curveball, and they have it to where it was 12 co-ed team, but you don't have to. You could even shoot all males, all females, but it could be co-ed. But you count all 12 scores.
Okay.
So that was a real curveball, because we've never had a situation where all scores will count. So sometimes you had an archer that was having a bad day, they could just say, well, my score won't count, and just kind of give up. But we had to really get all the archers on board and work with that. You can't give up. Every point will count. You can't give up. You've got to keep going. And so that was a different mindset that we really had to work the team to get in. But I think actually in the long run that helped us, because those tournaments were in February, and so these archers knew when they were selected for that team, they have got to worry about every single arrow and just be more dedicated, and that's carried over through the season. I mean, I have 8 different individuals that's been the top overall scorer in the tournament. And in the past, it was typically 1, maybe 2 in the season, but to have 8 different, so that just tells you how strong the team is and how they all just step up. And so,
well, different formats confusing for the archers.
I wouldn't say that, not necessarily.
You've gotten used to it.
Yeah, I think after a few years I've gotten a lot more used to it. I'd say especially for parents it's more confusing, and sometimes even the archers, they are confused. I just think with some of us who have been shooting for 8 years, you start to get the hang of it. So yeah.
Yeah, and the 3D competition, like you mentioned, you're actually shooting at a 3D target, whether it be usually an animal, right? I'm assuming.
Yes.
That's a whole difference. Talk a little bit about that.
Personally, I think 3D has been very helpful. When I started it, it was very interesting, and it also added more of a fun aspect because where normally your bullseye tournaments, it's at 10 and 15 meters, and that's set distances. So you just have to practice those distances constantly. But the thing about 3D is that 2 of the animals are set at 10 and 15, but then the rest are all different. So you go up to the animal, and you may have to change your aim spot on the spot. And so sometimes it is more difficult because you have to be more used to shooting, more used to adjusting. And so it definitely adds more of a curveball and a fun aspect of shooting.
Yeah. All right. Well, we all know she's had a lot of success, but let's talk about her and some other kids that are on this team. I know you got a long list of kids to talk about. So
absolutely. I mean, you have to start with Hannah. Hannah Ramsey. So she is she's really our main senior contributor to the team this year. And wow, what a history she's had being the KHA state champion as an 8th grader. But she has been at the KHSC state tournament from 7th grade on, either as an individual or part of the team. So I don't think there's many archers who could say that. Yeah. And then I shot at perfect 300, and she was just recently named the KHSA student athlete for archery, so that was quite an accomplishment.
Yeah.
So then you've got, of course, Rebecca has done just an amazing, had an amazing season, has had a great history. Grace Yates, again, has been on the team since the day one, too. So, again, you look at Hannah and Rebecca and Grace have been on the team from the very beginning, and so you trace back to there. But then we've got a lot of newcomers, too, really, that's really, a freshman class is really strong. You've got Ruth Rogers, who was the KHSA region champion. You've got Ricky Marlowe, he was overall in 3 different tournaments this year. You've got Jennifer Tolliver, Gabby Harris. She started for the last year, started as a freshman. And so again, when you started in the high school sport for the freshmen, so she just won the overall tournament not this week, but the weekend before, and shot at 290. So I mean, in 2 years' time to get to that level is pretty amazing. So it's real exciting with that. Then you have you got some upcoming incoming freshmen next year that's going to be really good. Ellery Cogdill, Lauren Zerby, really good. On the boys' side, Jaden Pham has just been so consistent all year. He was 3rd at the All-A Classic, 3rd place in the state there. Devin Price has been solid. Chris LaFada. I mean, there's just so many. They've just stepped up, and they just are really contributing to the team. But again, we also have to mention our coaches. We've got just a great coaching staff, and I'm just the main spokesperson, really, the communicator, but everyone certainly does contribute, My husband, Sean, he's definitely a main contributor there, and he probably has more education than all the rest of us with archery. He's gone on the USA Archer training, and he's our bow person, and he keeps all the bows in order and everything. Equipment.
You should bring him up here. You want to come up here and say hello real quick?
And then,
he's sitting right over there. He can come up here and say hello for a minute.
Yeah, and then
we only have 3 chairs. That's all.
That's okay.
But please go on. The rest of
then we've got Donnie Kidd, Jim Wilson. And then we have, and we've always had volunteer coaches. So these are the ones who don't get paid at all. We don't get paid a lot now, but we do get paid. But there are some that just volunteer to help out, and that's quite amazing. And that's Brett and Amanda Likens and Jenny Rogers, and so that's really great, to have all that help. And then we have such great parents that help us run the tournaments and are just right there that we need it. So we certainly just I don't do this alone. I've got a lot of people helping out.
Yeah. And this one over here not only is a great archer, just named a governor's scholar
Absolutely.
as well.
Pretty proud mom. Yeah,
So pretty good athlete or academically too.
Absolutely. Yeah, and she also is KY editor-in-chief, so maybe you can give her some tips here.
Sure. I don't know about that. But I don't know. I just make up what I'm doing half the time, so that's all right.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, talk a little bit more about academically. You obviously you're only a junior yet, but you kind of have any idea what you want to do in the future?
Most likely, I probably want to go to UK to major in communication sciences and disorders, but I think a lot of that carries over from just years of discipline, and I think in academics, it's just as important to be as good, and so it's not just focusing on your archery career. I mean, for the past years, I've been the academic archer or something, and so a lot of people on our team are not only focused on academics but also sports, including archery. So
Yeah. All right. Well, you got the nationals coming up, so your season is not over yet. As you said, May 11th through the 13th.
Right. Yeah, so we're going to shoot on that Friday because they have prom on that Saturday, so they really want to go to their prom for some reason, So we'll take them down on that Friday. We'll shoot both the bullseye and the 3D competition on that Saturday.
Yeah. Well, it's great that we have
that Friday. Sorry.
Yeah. It's great that we have all three of you up here because this is, not to make this all about you guys. I'm sure you don't want to make it all about you guys, but this has been such a family tradition for you guys with your son Joshua and
and then our daughter Leah.
Yeah.
Leah is the main motivation on why we are coaching.
She got us started in this sport.
Yeah, why we're even started. She was the first one who tried archery and then went to model, and then they didn't have a team, and so she wanted to get involved, and then that kind of got us involved. So yeah.
You didn't have any choice, did you?
no.
You think Big Sister did? She had to follow right along.
Yeah.
But absolutely. Yeah. So and then Sean also has been coaching at EKU, the archery club there.
Yeah.
So,
That's where Joshua was, right? Is he still there? Or is
No,
he-
he's at UKU.
Okay.
Doing his masters. So,
now.
yeah.
Okay, because they didn't actually have. There is collegiate archery, but EKU doesn't have that at the varsity level. It's a club sport. I
Correct.
believe.
It's a club sport.
Right.
Yes.
So you kind of had that rolling, and he was able to go out and compete even as an independent in some competitions and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, and they had some success there too.
Yeah,
So even at the national level.
Yeah, we got to travel to nationals in 2021, and him and his teammates have had success. They got third place at nationals on a mixed team, and so it's good to it's kind of challenging to be coaching elementary, middle, high school, and in college. But it's good to see that archery has a future. Not just college, but it's been, like Michelle said, it's been a blessing. I mean, it's been a family affair. To coach, to compete, and it's encouraging. It's a great sport that you can do the rest of your life. It's enjoyable.
Yeah, and it's open really to anybody. And I think
Absolutely.
Hannah Ramsey is a perfect example of that.
Exactly.
She's someone who you probably wouldn't think of as an athlete. She's a very quiet, very shy kid. But
it's
she
such an
had
inclusive
just taken
sport.
to it. And
Absolutely. It's so inclusive. You don't have to be the tallest or the strongest or the most agile. It just takes hard work, dedication, perseverance. And just being calm and really, it's really a mental game, so it's kind of like, shooting free throws all the time in a way, it's like, or shooting 3-pointers, like shooting free throws at Tim Mears and now you're shooting at the key, 3-point shots. I mean, just that, but again, that pressure on you just to be able to perform each time. And it's been a really good sport. And archery is so great in Madison County. And
Lots of talent.
so much talent and just so much sportsmanship. And, all of the archers and the coaches, we all get along so well. I mean, we like to compete, but again, if we're not winning, we want another Madison County team to win. Absolutely. And so that's what they great about archery too is you don't play defense, right? And so again, you do your best, and if you win, that's great. But if somebody else does better, well, hats off to them, congratulations, because you can't do anything. You can't guarantee you're going to win because you can't do anything to how they shoot, so you just do your best and let it happen. So that's why we focus on having fun, having a good time. It's all about winning. We can't control whether we win, but we can control whether we have fun. And if we have fun, the kids have a better time, and they're going to perform better.
Yeah, and you said you're right. National championships for Whitehall, Caudle, lots of other schools. Central's done very well. They finished ahead of you at the KHSA state championships.
Kind of go back and forth, right? Yeah.
You beat them out by 1 point for the region title, right?
They beat us last year by 1 point for the region title, and I think another year we beat them by 1. So we just kind of back and forth there. Flip a coin, who's going to win?
Yeah. One thing about the county, it's just a great community. I mean, our success, I think Michelle's alluded to it, has been built on the foundation and knowledge of the county. I mean, we've learned a lot from, we'll put a plug in here for in-range. Ronnie Aldridge, he taught us a lot. I mean, Winston Long, the coach of Madison Central, was very helpful to us to get us.
He came in and early on and gave us lots of tips. And
Troy Lagers, he got us started. Like, the success of our son, my son, Josh has contributed. He said, Troy was a very big influence on him. And we've studied, really good shooters, champions. It's like, okay, what are they doing that we need to incorporate into our game? And so it's just been an encouragement, not just to the kids, but to us. It's wonderful.
Yeah, no, it's funny you bring that up because Ricky Pryor did a story on you guys a couple of years back, and I went back and reread that. And you guys, I remember that we did that photo shoot and everything, and you guys literally watch archery scorers from across the country. You have like fantasy archery teams. I mean, these people live and die by this stuff, and you're just really obviously 100% in on it. You guys love it.
We do, but now we did take it a little too far, just to be honest, and
you said that, not me.
Okay, and it got a little bit too overwhelming, too much pressure, and we had to bring it back and put the fun back into it, and that's really, we did get too much. We were a little bit too overbearing, I have to admit. But then the last couple years, again, it's like, okay, let's get back to really enjoy the fun of it and the basics, and I think that's what's really helped. I mean, we had. Some of our archers this year, again, have been very elite. And in the past years, I mean, they've won at the state level and the national. They're not really putting those scores up this year. But a lot of times when you have archers that shoot at that level, at that competitiveness, and it's hard to maintain. It's hard to maintain that elite status. And eventually they just quit because a lot of times because they can't maintain that winning. But we got our girls to maintain, to just buy in, to say, okay, and Rebecca was one of them. It was like, struggled to maintain those 297s and stuff, and it was just really hard. But again, it's like, but you can come in and you can shoot a 288 without thinking, a 290, and now these girls are coming in here and they're content to do that for the team, not for themselves. And I think that's helped the whole team aspect because everyone is doing it for the team. They're not doing it for those individual accolades. And that's what's made us a stronger team this year.
And I mean, I think that especially with, us more accomplishing things this year, I think it's mainly just because of a mindset change. And I think, like you said, the focus is more on, especially the individuals that have really shot really well, the focus was on individual success and focusing so much on that, forgetting to have fun. And so I think the past 2 years we sort of had to rebuild the team and reshape what it looks like to have a good team and to be successful. And so I think that's where we've been a lot more successful this year, is just because we've been focusing on having fun as a team and less worried about successes. And so the successes are coming because of that change in mindset of just wanting to have fun. And
goes both ways, right?
Absolutely.
Having fun leads to success, and having success is fun.
Happy archers shoot better. That's what I always say.
Yeah. I think it's a mentality, of, like Michelle said, we were really too serious, too on tight, very analytical, and we've tried to step back and just kind of relax with our mentality. Particularly, we've learned more about the mental game. It's amazing how archery is physical. Of course, you don't sweat and that sort of thing, but it really exercises your mind tremendously. And we're still trying to figure out how to relax our athletes, our archers, mentally at a competition. And that's a challenge to us, and we enjoy that challenge.
All right. Well, you guys have had a great season so far. Like I said, it's not over yet. May 11th through 13th down in Louisville for the NASP NASP Nationals.
Yes.
All these abbreviations can get kind of confusing.
Absolutely.
So appreciate y'all coming in.
Thank you
And,
so much for inviting
yeah,
us. We
appreciate it.
really appreciate the
It's an
opportunity to
honor.
talk about archery.
Yeah.
So thank you so much.
I appreciate you always keeping me up to date. You know, sometimes I get caught up in other things, and so I can always keep, always know you guys are out there you guys are always posting stuff and everything, so it keeps me updated and everything. So like I said, we don't want to leave anybody out, and it's not just you guys. Central's had great
Absolutely.
success. Southern hasn't had quite as much success here recently, but they were kind of the beginning.
Absolutely,
in the beginning, they kind of had a really good.
They really kind of got things started in the area.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so you're right, man. There's a lot of good archers all over the county.
Our training, our certification was Southern's coach.
Yeah.
So, we have a lot to give credit to, for where we're at. So, and like Michelle said, previous assistant coaches have helped us tremendously. So,
Yeah.
We've just benefiting from all that.
yeah. Well, it's about team.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
it's the team.
All right. Well, I appreciate you coming in.
Yeah.
It's hard to get a word in edgewise with these guys, isn't it? When they get talking about archery, right? We tried to get a little bit into you in there a little bit. No, I appreciate you coming in.
Yeah.
And good luck to you, and congratulations on being a governor's call.
Thank you. Yeah.
Well, I'll wrap up this week's edition of the Richmond Register Sports Show. We'll be back next Sunday night with a new edition at 9 o'clock. As always, the best place to keep up with Madison County sports is Richmond R Sports on Twitter and Register Sports on Facebook. See you next week.
Miller's Tire and Auto Care need to hire experienced technicians, oil change, tire technician, tow truck drivers, exceptional benefits and pay. Drop your resume off at Miller's Tire on the Big Hill Avenue location. The Richmond Register Sports Show is brought to you by MetroNet, super fast internet, simply a better connection. Total Comfort, heating and air conditioning. Let Total Comfort keep you cool or warm this winter. Call for service or for a free replacement quote. Wynn's Auto Detailing Service. Platinum Roofing, Solar and Green Solutions. Voted Richmond's best roofer 7 years in a row. And by kymedia.net, digital media solutions on your terms. Thanks for watching the Richmond Register Sports Show. For more information about all things sports in Madison County, log on to richmondregister.com or on Twitter. And like us, Register Sports on Facebook. Get the Richmond Register directly to your mailbox or get the app online and visit richmondregister.com.